What's up guys, Dr. Ryan here with another episode of Smashing Wealth. In this video, we're going to be breaking down multiple aspects of the next potential stock market crash. You and I will be taking a close look at the possibility of a stock market crash today. We're going to examine why it is likely that you are losing money by waiting for stock market crash 2020. This video will be breaking down a strategy to potentially help you minimize the losses you are enduring by keeping your cash out of the stock market on the sidelines as you wait for the next stock market collapse. If you stick around to the end of this video, we'll be going over the nitty-gritty on the top 5 tech companies which are accounting for most of the growth in the major indexes and what effect this has on the upcoming stock crash. This video will help you crystallize the dynamics in the market which are leading up to a stock market crash today. I will be sharing my stock market crash 2020 predictions with you. With this information, you will be better equipped on your future preparation and investment strategy. By knowing a stock market collapse is coming and by properly preparing for it, you can exponentially increase your wealth through well-timed investment decisions. This video will be all about the stock market crash explained, so let's get into it. As investors, time out of the stock market is costing us money. We have all heard the saying that you never want to try to time the market and that time out of the market will cost you money over time. This is true. Your ability to accurately time the bottom of the market is close to non-existent. Now, I'm not saying that I have some magical abilities to time the market either, because I don't. Right now, we have hundreds of thousands of investors waiting on the sidelines, holding on to millions of dollars in cash, just waiting for that moment. It looks like the market is going down, just to have the opportunity to pump all this money into the market. As soon as the market dips or a crash happens, literally massive stockpiles of cash are waiting to meet up with the stock market crash coming. Because of this, I do believe that any stock market crash will be short-lived. There is more cash on the sidelines today than any other point of time in history. At the end of the day, this means we have to pay close attention to the stock market on a very regular basis. It almost seems that if you were to sleep in one day, you may end up missing market crash 2020. Now, let's take a look at why we're losing money as investors as we're waiting for a stock market crash. Since a lot of us are holding all of this money in the form of cash, we are losing possible returns that we could have been generating in the stock market. After all, the market has improved and has achieved multiple all-time highs. This means that if we had our money in this bubble of an economy, it is likely that it would have grown significantly as this stock market bubble grew larger and larger. Even if you were to invest now in an index fund and we were to have a market crash next week, over the long term, you would likely end up becoming profitable. That is assuming that you didn't panic sell on the way down. The market as a whole will always trend upwards, regardless of whether you invested today versus if you wait for the stock crash. Over the long term, the stock market indexes tend to go up, and you are likely to see a return on your stock market investments. When looking at the possibility of living through stock market crash live, you have to look at the major indexes and what is really going on with them. We are always talking about the S&P 500. Forget about the S&P 500 for a second. It's all about the S&P 5. I'm talking about the Book of Faces, Amazon, the Apple, the originators of Netflix and chill, and Google. The S&P 5 makes up more than 20% of the S&P 500. Yes, I'm making up my own little index here. When Tesla joins the mix, it will be the S&P 6. These companies control a mass majority of a major index. When these companies rise, the market rises. When these companies fall, the market falls. This means that just 5 companies control major indexes. The S&P 500 has made multiple new all-time highs. This is largely due to the S&P 5. These tech stocks have done extremely well during the whole Rona situation. Despite how well they have done, they are still overvalued overall. The fact that this overall market is largely influenced by these tech stocks means that the movement of these companies has a large impact on the movement of the overall stock market. If we were to experience a sell-off of one or more of these companies, this can quickly lead to another market crash 2020. This stock market crash course would not be complete if we didn't talk about the famous Roni Rona. The Roni Rona is running the show right now, and there is no signs that he will be slowing down or going home anytime soon. He's checking into bars, he's hanging out at restaurants, and he's attempting to go home with people all across this country. The one activity that is completely safe, that is incredibly fun, and is completely risk-free is smashing that like button for smashing wealth. The Roni Rona is making tens of thousands of new appearances in the US on a daily basis. There are more cases than ever before. Some states felt that all was well and they were opening their doors, and now they're locking their doors and engaging the deadbolt as they know and they see that the Roni Rona doesn't seem to be going anywhere anytime soon. As more and more time goes on, this will cause an increase in overall investor fear in the market. It is not outside the realm of possibility that they will institute a second lockdown. A second lockdown will have dramatic consequences. First off, people will once again lose their primary income source. Businesses in most cases still have ongoing overhead expenses, and many of them don't have strong enough financials to survive a second lockdown. The lockdowns here have been sporadic. Some states have locked down while others stayed open. This has given Roni Rona somewhere to hang out while some states shut their door on him. Once other states open their door to the Roni Rona, it seems to visit from states that were open to states that have recently reopened, and the cycle continues. I think it's going to take a national lockdown across all states, areas, and territories to get this situation under control. If the Roni Rona gets severely out of hand, it can lead to an even longer shutdown, which will result in companies going out of business, which will decrease the income of millions of Americans who will end up spending less money in the economy, which will lead to even more businesses going bankrupt. This can definitely lead to a stock market crash coming in the near future. It is stock market basics that when the economics of one's financial future is in limbo, the market tends to sell off. The market is starting to understand that it is difficult for businesses to grow while the Roni Rona is still in the air, lays in deep cover on surfaces, and has infiltrated millions of lives. We haven't successfully won round one, and everyone is already talking about round two. Everyone knows that the stock market is forward thinking, and it seems to have already priced in the recession. With this being said, it is unclear how many months or years into the future have already been priced into the market. Businesses have been reopening. They have become confronted with the harsh reality that their profits have drastically decreased while their expenses have went through the roof. In an attempt to reduce costs, they've already begun to shrink their workforce through layoffs. More layoffs means less people working, which means less money spent in the economy, which leads to a further reduction in business activity, which leads to more layoffs. If you do a stock market analysis, you will see that this can easily lead to a fall in share prices across the board. If we analyze the possibility of a stock market crash today, these factors can lead to a mass sell-off, which can lead to a stock market crash. This would be my stock market crash 2020 predictions. I've already created another stock market crash video that goes into extensive detail on why the stock market crash is slowly coming. I will link to that video in the upper right hand corner of this video. I will also link to it in the description section below. Question of the day. Do you believe that the stock market crash is coming? Drop a comment down below in the comment section of this video and let me know. If you made it this far in the video, please consider smashing that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell to be alerted when I release future videos. I highly recommend joining our mailing list by going to smashingwealth.com. This way you'll be the first to know when I release new videos in the future. I left the link to join our mailing list in the description below. Obliterate that like button if you're feeling generous. Feel free to share this video if you felt that this video will help you learn why we are expecting a stock market collapse. You could also hit the save button and bookmark this video to come back to this video later. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at RealDrRyan. Don't forget that Robinhood is giving away 1 free stock just for signing up for a free account. Make sure you claim your free stock from the link in the description section of this video. Webull is also giving away 2 free stocks. You get 1 free stock when you open up a free account. If you deposit $100, Webull will give you another free stock, with this one being valued up to $1,400. You can claim up to 3 stocks for free from the links in the description box below. This is free money in your pocket. Let me know which free stocks you get in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video on the stock market crash coming soon. Thank you for your time and support. This is Dr. Ryan. Until next time, have a smashing day.